A hallelujah would be appropriate because Judge Torres is ready to send XRP to the nuclear level. There have been some mind-blowing developments in the Ripple SEC lawsuit that we have discovered today, but the grandmaster level of chess that is being played right now is truly poetry. It is lovely as the SEC continues to lose every case that it brings to the courts. Ripple has filed a request to strike additional expert material that the SEC supplied in support of its motions, remedies, and entry of final judgment, according to a breaking update that we have now received from the Crypto Barbie. In and of itself, the term final judgment is already bullish news because it verifies that this lawsuit has now entered the endgame. This is also very, very bullish news, significant news, and crucial news because, surprise, surprise, the Securities and Exchange Commission has once again attempted to deceive the system. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has, in effect, added new evidence and arguments regarding the penalties for Ripple from an expert witness. On the other hand, Ripple contends that this is unfair and constitutes sandbagging because the SEC ought to have provided this information during the discovery phase prior to the trial. Furthermore, the SEC has gone so far as to cite federal rules that require disclosing such evidence during the discovery phase, which therefore supports Ripple's claim once again. Taking into consideration the fact that the SEC is currently performing at a rate of 0 for 1 in the courts, I would not be surprised if this goes in Ripple's favor once more. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Oldrady, has stated that our resistance to the Securities and Exchange Commission's request for $2 billion in penalties for legacy institutional transactions is now considered public knowledge. With regard to a case that did not involve any allegations or findings of recklessness or fraud, and in which Ripple prevailed on significant issues, the request made by the SEC is merely additional evidence of the agency's ongoing intimidation against the entire cryptocurrency industry in the United States. We continue to be confident that the judge will approach these final remedies phase in a fair manner. In spite of the fact that Ripple made 41 pre-compliant institutional sales, not a single one of them was unsuccessful financially. The SEC is currently in a state of checkmate and is fighting a battle that they are losing. All of this is happening in anticipation of what Scott Melkler and James Murphy anticipated, and Ripple's argument is that there should be no disgorgement of any funds and a penalty that does not exceed $10 million, which is completely insane. It is important to note that the SEC is essentially seeking $2 billion, whereas Ripple is just seeking $10 million. Now, we are required to wait until the 6th of May, which is 2 weeks from now, for the Securities and Exchange Commission to provide a response. After that, it will be up to Judge Torres to make the ultimate decision, which means that we will most likely have the final verdict and the conclusion of this lawsuit by the end of May, which is a little more than a month away from now. In the end, how much will the penalty fee be? Well, that rector, he believes that it will be sub $50 million, and after the verdict, Ripple will explode in price and adoption in the United States, with every major institution wanting in on this space right now, but Ripple will be the only one who will have legal clarity. That's why they're going to explode in value, and I agree. Although, if I'm honest, I believe the bar is even lower, maybe even $30 million or less, because the grandmaster level of chess that is being played at Ripple right now, it's like Mozart, it's music to my ear, it is beautiful, and the reason why is because the SEC has just thrown some of their lawyers under the bus. This just in from Good Morning Crypto: multiple SEC lawyers resigned after a federal judge sanctioned the agency for false statements and abuse of power in a crypto case. Michael Welch and Joseph Watkins stepped down this month after an SEC official told them that they would be terminated if they stayed. According to people familiar with the matter, the pair were lead attorneys on the case against Debtbox, and according to Fox Business Journalist, according to their LinkedIn profiles, both Welch and Watkins only had a year-and-a-half experience at the SEC before the investigation, so they had very little experience at all, and it seems like all of this is a mighty fine coincidence to me, because we found out from Ripple's response to the SEC yesterday that the SEC investigation interval began exactly 6 years ago, April 2018, and in 2018, April Gensler publicly called XRP and Ethereum likely non-compliant securities, to which met with Clayton a day before the lawsuit was filed. But that is not all, because Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse posted filled a proposed or appropriate that we file our response on the same day the SEC lawyers, quote, resigned for the misconduct in the Debtbox case. Ripple chose the opportune time when the SEC is down to strike true once again to file their rebuttal, when the whole space is reminded of the SEC's unlawful conduct, and this may be the reminder needed for Ripple to get that massively reduced penalty to get their way. We can hear from formal Chief Policy Officer of Ripple Partner Variant Jake Chavinsky on the imperable damage this Debtbox case has caused on the SEC's reputation. Pay close attention, and I wondered how you felt the facts of that case would have an impact on how judges either perceive the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) or determine the strategy they take when determining issues between the SEC and the cryptocurrency business that are brought before them, if at all, I believe. It will, I think honestly, that it will work an irreparable damage to the SEC's reputation, and a lot of folks in the crypto industry have been celebrating this order, and I totally understand that, because I think it makes us all feel seen, that a federal judge is identifying and calling out the SEC's bad behavior in a way that we all have been for a really long time does feel validating, but honestly to me, it's really just very sad that we live under an administration, under leadership at the SEC that does act this way, and their perspective, not just on the law, but on where they stand with respect to the industry that they regulate, is one of total hostility and antagonism. All in all, this was a massive day, a massive win for cryptocurrency, and in particular for Ripple and XRP. It is the ideal opportunity for Ripple to make their stand and strike true once more. We can see the finish line, and it is within striking distance, and XRP is on the verge of reaching it. Its price is about to become nuclear, and to take this post from the variable ball, the SEC case signed up in just one line. What a waste of 4 years it has been.